You are looking live at a tremendous setting. It is perhaps one of the most outstanding events that takes place here each year. I'm back here again for my annual pilgrimage. It is indeed one of my favorite places to be, in the heart of the Dunbar community, on the property of Mount Hermon Church, for what is now known as Community Fun Day. It has evolved to a festival of magnificent proportion, to the degree that we see ponies and all types of things walking around here for the children. It is that day, Community Fun Day here in July. I'm so thrilled, and who am I? I'm Lee Pitts, the longtime host of Lee Pitts Live. I have my good friend here, the mayor of the city of Fort Myers. I bear witness that Kevin Anderson, the mayor of Fort Myers, since he's been mayor, and I don't know about when he was city council, but certainly since he's been mayor, has not missed a Community Fun Day. How far in advance do you put that on your calendar?
Hey, for events like this, it doesn't matter. I'll fit them in because this is an important community event. Preparing our kids to go back to school is we can't do enough of that.
When you're walking around here so far, I know you've been here about 30 minutes. I saw you come through. When you've been walking around here so far, how you been taking in everything?
It's a great event, Lee. I mean, looking around, they've got it set up really different this year. They've got different zones for fun, zone for entertainment, a zone for food, and and a zone for health. And so it's really a great setup.
And we get the chance to enjoy one of the beautiful things about your fine city and my fine city, the city of Fort Myers, is our lovely weather here. Great sunshine, get out, enjoy yourself, right?
When Dr. Glover told me the date, I said, I'll make sure it's good weather.
Oh, so there was an act of the mayor, a legislation passed.
An official resolution for no rain.
Well, man, this is perfect. A variety of activities are taking place here in the city of Fort Myers, in the Dunbar community. When people think about the Dunbar community, what do you hope come to their mind?
That they see it's a very vibrant, active community. It's not what is necessarily portrayed on the mainstream media. It's not crime-ridden. It's not an unsafe place. It's a community of families and hardworking people who are doing their best to make it a good community.
Mm-hmm. The diversity here in Dunbar community is what any community, any city can thrive to have as a part of their whole repertoire.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the last thing we want is neighborhoods restricted to certain demographics. No, we want a city that blends together, a city that's unified.
Under your leadership as the mayor of the city of Fort Myers, is that something that you try to always implement from on high?
You know, Lee, from day one I said I want to focus on housing, homelessness, and unity.
So when you're sitting back seeing somewhat of an attack on diversity at the national level, how are you rolling with that?
I push that aside and I focus on the local community and say, hey, regardless of what's happening in other cities, other states, what can we do in Fort Myers to promote unity? I
like that. You push that, you focus, laser focus on our community. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All of this is free. I think the city is involved in some kind of way of a sponsor. I understand it's the city stage.
Right.
Talk about how the city of Fort Myers helps put this on each year.
I think you hit on the big thing. As you see the stage behind us, that's a city stage. We let the Mount Hermon Church use it. Also, if you look over there, you'll see the fire truck, and I believe they're going to be probably spraying the kids down here shortly. So anything we can do as a city to support community events like this, we do our best to do so.
All the many years I've been covering this, and I'm sure you can attest to this, every time we've come out here, it's just all been a stone blast, all pleasant, nothing that we wouldn't be proud of in our city, no crime, nothing has ever jumped off out here, just all fun, right?
It's all positive, positive, positive.
There you go. The city of Fort Myers, one of the things I've noticed about the city of Fort Myers, as it's continuing to expand, in terms of development. I see Claver Homes, I think it is over there. I see more apartment complexes going up. Is there any initiative that you guys are focused on trying to get more affordable housing in the area?
There's one that's very near and dear to my heart, because I out driving around in the city with the city manager looking at lots that we own. I asked him, I says, why can't we as a city build a house and sell it at cost? So just a few blocks from here, we're in the process of constructing a home. It's costing us, just for the construction of the house, not the land or anything else, it's costing us $245,000. We will turn around and sell that for $245,000. We don't want to make a penny. But what's really great is it's in what's known as a MMCT, a minority majority census tract, which means that the homeowner, the person who wants to purchase that home, is entitled to a special mortgage. A mortgage that shaves a point off the interest rate, only requires 3% down payment, so they'll finance up to 97%. They'll be eligible for $10,000 down payment assistance, and there's no income requirement or restriction. A lot of times what we see is someone makes too much to get assistance, but they don't make enough to buy that house.
So it's a catch-22 situation, right?
Right, and so this mortgage program eliminates that catch-22.
Let me go to that concept for a minute before we move on. First of all, we're seeing government use government resources to move private enterprise forward. Is that something that government should be involved in when they can?
It all depends on the situation. We shouldn't do it just carte blanche, obviously. It's got to make sense for our city and for our citizens. And in this case, with the housing, it makes perfect sense for us to give these lots away for free to build that house on. We're not giving the lot away, but we donate the lot to the builder, and then it's not factored into the cost of the house.
And then what we get as a result of that, in a nutshell, we get a tax-paying property, we get the elimination of blight and slum, right? We get home ownership in the community. We get property values to start going up, which is a good thing. People always frown at property values going up. But in the long run, if you're trying to make a good investment in the community, you want your properties to appreciate. I want you to expand on what I just said.
Well, you said it all. The big thing is we take in chances are it's going to be a first-time homeowner, and hopefully a family at that. And so what we're doing is we're helping them create generational wealth. But we're also taking that vacant lot that doesn't do anything for the city, and now we're going to have a taxable piece of property. And we're putting a new house in an area where there's older homes, so it brings up the neighborhood. What we hope is that people around will say, well, look at that house. Let me do some things to help improve how my house looks, which, by the way, depending on where you live, the CRA, the Community Redevelopment Agency, actually has grants to help people improve their homes.
Right, under the leadership of Michelle Hilton Terry, and they certainly also, if you violating the code, you may qualify also for some assistance. We'll talk about that in the future. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned when you just talked about what you talked about, and you know my background as a banker, so I listen to everything. I like people in a Sesame Street way to understand when properties in a community pay taxes, property real estate taxes, what that also does in terms of the success of that community.
Well, first of all, those taxes are used to provide public safety, to improve infrastructure, to improve parks and recreation, to improve services that we deliver to the taxpayers. So it's all good. And as our property values increase, and I think it's been 10 years now, we've been able to drive down the millage rate on the property taxes.
Outstanding. Well, Mr. Mayor, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Let me have you to make some comments. We're on TV right now, but in a second we can talk to you. Your baby went somewhere? Talk to that guy with the hat on right quick. That guy with the hat on. With the hat on. Right here, right here. Pastor Ford. Pastor Ford. Okay, we're still on the air. That's what happens on Leap It Live. We solve problems. Mr. Mayor, what do you have to say to Mount Hermon Ministries, Rico, Premier Mobile, and all the other people who are associated with this particular day?
You know, as mayor, one thing I've learned is government can't be everything to everybody. And so what we need is the various nonprofits and organizations and the churches to step up. And that's what you're seeing here today. You're seeing Mount Hermon, you're seeing Premier Mobile Health, you're seeing Lee Health, you're seeing all kinds of organizations.
Fire department, everybody.
Coming together to serve a community.
And when we have everybody working together, that's how we get things done. I'm a big fan of this quote, Mr. Mayor. Nobody can do everything, but everybody can do something. And if everybody does something, everything gets done.
I love it.
You can steal it from me.
Well, that's almost as good as Miami's got their oranges.
That's coming. So remember, Miami might have the oranges, but Mount Hermon Ministries and Community Fund Day in the city of Fort Myers has got the juice. They got the juice. We'll be right back. Always like it. Hello everybody, this is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show, and if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch Leap It Live on demand anytime, and also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Leap It Live, and there you go.